My name is Lori Howe, and I'm going to be giving a presentation on Human and Sighted Guide. This is for class EDSE 546, Orientation Mobility. What is Human Sighted Guide? Sighted Guide is a technique that was originally developed for people who are blind. It is also useful for those with low vision who are unsure of the bearings in an unfamiliar environment. One thing to remember is to always ask the person if any help is needed. Not everyone needs or wants the assistance of a sighted guide. The sighted guide technique is felt to be the most efficient way for a person who is blind or visually impaired to travel with a sighted person. Basic skills instruction is typically an integral part of most of the O&M, which is orientation mobility programs for young children who are blind or visually impaired. Basic skills lessons include, but are not limited to, human guide technique, protective techniques, and also trailing. Tips for sighted guide. The sighted guide technique, which is also known as human guide, is a way of walking with and guiding a person who is blind or visually impaired safely and effectively. First, you approach the person who is blind or visually impaired, introduce yourself, and ask if they would like your assistance. If your help is accepted, offer your arm to the person by lightly tapping the back of the person's hand with your own hand. You walk at a natural, comfortable pace with your arm relaxed by your side. Always be aware of your surroundings. Maintain communication with the person you are guiding to help them better understand their surroundings.
Okay.
Sighted guide example. This small video will give you an example of the sighted guide and asking and offering assistance. Going through a narrow passage. When approaching a narrow passage or doorway, make sure that you move your guiding arm behind you towards the small of your back. Have the person that you're guiding step in single file behind you to maneuver through that narrow space. When you get through the narrow space, return your arm to its normal position.
Yep.
This short video will show an example of the narrow passage.
Ready? Go. So we're just going to turn, and then we're just going to walk
Back.
through the doorway. And we're going to go through this narrow spot right here. Or through the doorway. And stop.
Drop-offs. When approaching a drop-off, your guide should stop with his or her toes close to the drop-off and announce curb up or stairs going down. Then the guide should step forward and allow you to find their stair or curb with your toes. If there's a handrail, your guide should always position you on the side of the handrail and let you know where it is so that you may also use it as you're going up or down the stairs.
Okay, so we're going to go down.
Here's a short video of a drop-off example.
Okay, we're going to go down one. I'm going to feel the edge of a step. I'm going to go down again.
Want me to stop?
Stairways. Stairways are similar to drop-offs. When approaching stairs, stop at the first step and stand alongside the person you are guiding. Let them know where the handrail is located and allow them to change sides if necessary. Announce to the person you are guiding if the stairs are going up or down. It is also helpful, but not always necessary, to inform the person how many steps there are. For example, we are going up 3 steps or we are going down 3 steps. Start walking when the person is ready and remain about 1 step ahead of them. Let them know when you have reached the last step. Doorways. In this picture, the human guide is helping to lead a student through his doorway. In this technique, the person who is blind holds onto the guide's arm and walks half a step behind and to the side of the guide, following the guide's movement. This technique is safer, more efficient way to lead a child who is blind than walking side by side and holding on to the child's hand. When walking through a doorway, make sure the person you are guiding is on the hinged side of the door. Switching sides and or changing directions. Reversing your direction should look very natural. Either the traveler or the guide indicates a need or desire to reverse direction. The guide and traveler come to a complete stop. The guide rotates his arm to break contact with the traveler, or the traveler can break contact with the guide. The traveler and guide will turn 180 degrees with each person turning toward one another. Turning toward each other looks more natural than turning away from one another. The guide then reestablishes contact by touching the back of the traveler's hand or forearm with the back of his hand. The guide and traveler then resume the human guide position. This is a short video showing how to switch sides or changing directions. Chair example. As you approach the seat of a chair, you should tell the person you are guiding that they are in front of or beside the seat. Place their guide hand on the chair back or chair arm and allow the guided person to follow the guide's arm down the seat. You do not need to help the person sit down unless the person being guided is frail or unsteady. Here's a short video that shows how to guide that person to their chair. Getting into a car. Tell the person if their car is facing left or right. Open the car door and place your guiding hand on it. The person you're guiding can slide their hand down your arm to hold on to the door. Then place your guiding hand on the top of the door frame. The person you're guiding will slide their other hand down your arm and get into the car. Leaving or finishing assistance. Always check with the person that you are guiding that they know where they are before you leave them. Tell the person clearly that you're leaving them now. Leave them in a safe place away from danger. Final tips. These tips are best practices for sighted guides. Always use these techniques as a general starting point, but be prepared to alter them depending on the particular requirements of the person you support. As long as you and the person you guide are safe, it is okay to vary these tips. Here are some final resources on some of the places where I was able to gather the information on being a sighted guide, and also tips on how to travel with and be a sighted guide.